Gail Stubber, who's the Honorary Executive Officer for Hemp Grow, which is WA Hemp Growers Cooperative Limited, and she'll be speaking on the co-op and the inception, the achievements of the co-op, and the future it sees for its members and hemp.
Sorry, we've been flipping through the slides while you've been talking.
That's okay.
David, thank you for talking about collaboration just before I get up here. Obviously, being a co-op, that's what we're here for and that's what we're all about. And yes, it's been a great day of collaborating with lots of information and people sharing ideas. So, go to the next one for us. I think it's probably on just on a Y. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so the WA Hemp Growers Co-op, most of you already know why we exist. We started because there was a lack of good viable seed, hemp seed in WA. And so some of us got together and thought we'd bring in some certified seed from overseas. So that was almost 3 years ago. This is just going to be an ongoing joke, so I'll keep talking and it'll catch up with me eventually. So April the 18th, 3 years ago, we formed the cooperative. And the aims of the co-op, go back one, please. Yeah, no, just one. I'm not going to touch it. So the aims of the co-op are to work together with the whole industry, to bring farmers on board, obviously. So at the moment we've reduced in farmers, which we're actually quite happy about, but it's we're down to 27 farmers, but it's so the farmers have a stronger voice. So hemp growing at the moment is a mixture of broadacre farmers and small farm holders, some irrigated, some non-irrigated. And the only way that we saw that we could get a voice with the government was to band together, which is what most cooperatives do. And so it was for that. It was for research and development. So we realised that hemp seed grown in Europe was not going to grow here as well unless we did some R&D and found the right seed for the right region. And we've done that already once, and the department is doing it again at the moment, which is following on. And the co-op has been lucky enough to be able to send seed to Zimbabwe. And we've got some research people in Zimbabwe using hemp seed from us. So that's a nice little connector, which we're really quite proud of. What else have we forgotten what we're here for? Well, no, it's easy. Maybe I'll move on.
Sorry, it's not behaving.
It's not behaving, is it? It must just be on a loop. If you could, I don't know how you stop that. So the next picture is the car. Now you all know the story about the car. That's the Ford motor car. But what it also says is that hemp was going to be once an amazing product, and it still has the potential to be an amazing product, as a lot of you in the room have spoken about. But we've spoken about building today. One of the things we haven't talked about is bioplastics, okay? So that's another huge industry for hemp, okay? And it's a developing industry, bit by bit, at the moment, with recycled packaging. So that's another one of the things that the co-op is working with some people in. Okay, so that's the car. Can we go to the next one? And the next slide is about the difference between industrial hemp and medicinal marijuana. Now we talk about this all the time because everybody wants to make a fortune in hemp very quickly. We all know that story. And you can't. You just can't. 5 years in the business, haven't made a cent. I think most of us sitting here can say 5 years in the business, haven't made a cent. But medicinal marijuana is where everyone thinks that they can make money. And Little Green Farmer will probably tell you the same thing. 5 years in the business, haven't yet made money. So it's a slow burn at the moment. It's a great product, but it's a slow burn. Okay, we'll go to the next one if that's okay. Right. So this is a comparison for my farmers. This is one of the ways that we try to sell hemp to our farmers, because farmers like farm gate price. Rob's already talked about that. So here we have compared hemp, lucerne, maize and sorghum. So we're trying to convince farmers that they've got to move from one thing to another. Hemp does grow during summer, so that makes it a little bit easier. It makes it a break crop. But you've still got to get money for the work that you put in. So at the moment, hemp will give them money as a break crop over summer, and it means it adds to their overall 12-month earning capacity on a farm. So that's great, and that's what the co-op is working for. We're working for farmers to get decent prices for the things that they're working on and for what they're growing. One more. This is starting to work. Good. So the next thing that we're doing, so we've got our farmers, we've got our seed, we're still bringing in seed from France, and we're still going for certified seed. So we've got an order in at the moment with France to bring 9 tonne into the country, and we are bringing in new varieties this year. Some of them, the French say, will grow down in Northern Africa. So one can only hope that if they can grow in Northern Africa, they can grow dry land in Western Australia. We're still working on that. Okay, but the next thing we're working for is to do processing. And from the processing machine we're looking for, it's a small processing machine. It is sits on the back of the truck, and we can take it round to farms. So we're looking at a mobile processing machine that is being made in the eastern states. We can bring it over here, and we're hoping that it will start to build the business, the industry of hemp in the farms around WA. So the farmers don't have to cart, we go to them, we contract with farmers and builders, and we take the stuff to them. So trying to get that supply chain and the value chain working, not only for the people at the end that are building the houses, but for the farmers at the beginning. So the co-op is going to move into, hopefully, this mobile processing unit, so the farmers get a mixture of growing it and wholesale products. Oh, it's been running behind me. I got it. Okay, so while it's been running behind me, you would have seen that 3 things come off a hemp stem. You would have seen that herd comes off a hemp stem, which goes to the building industry. You would have seen that fibre comes off the hemp stream, which goes into a lot of other industries. One of the ones that I would really love somebody to pick up is erosion matting. If you want to hear more about it, come and see me. But erosion matting is a massive industry around the world, and we could use it as a come off from this as well. And the third one that comes off there is dust. And dust can be used in the bioplastics that I was talking about earlier. So of one product, just a simple product with that processing unit, we can get 3 industries moving. Okay, so the co-op is not just about building its farmers. We're about bringing in the seed, and we're about processing to wholesale. And the reason we want to process, I think we go to the next one. The reason we want to process to wholesale, is so that people can build these products. At the moment, Bronwyn's got hers going. We're talking about different businesses, but we are missing the bit in the middle. And to add value to our farmers and to our farm gate price, we realise that somebody's got to pick up that bit in the middle, and we're happy to do it. Food Fibre Land is going to be doing it with seed. We're going to maybe be doing it with the other products, so that we can build your industry. So you can say to people, we do have a supply chain in WA, and it's a farm gate supply chain. So everybody starts to win. You can tell us what you want for a product. You want big grain seed, so that you can dehull it. You want seed for oil, so you can use it for oil. You want, so you want to make hemp butter. You want to do hemp honey. You know, where do you find a farm that's going to be growing hemp flowers for their hemp honey? All these sorts of things. Can we go to the next one? Okay, and so the other products that come off that decorticating unit that we were looking at are these ones. And these are exciting products. These are the ones that kind of get talked about, but not a lot. Okay, so the fibre. There is somebody very interested in starting a fibre processing plant in WA. And the co-op's helping them start to look further forward, which is great. The other thing up the top there, which is just amazing, it's a briefcase. So that's your bioplastics. That's your pressed hemp plastic. And it can be just using a simple thing like hemp pressed, matting, and an oil resin. There you go, extrusion. Somebody build those and we'll all use them. Everybody in the room would have their hemp briefcase, definitely. Okay, I think we've got to the end. Yes, so these are the things that we have been doing as a co-op. And the issues that we see happening. So, seed varieties we're working on, agronomy we're working on with the Department of Primary Industry. Parrots, nobody's working on parrots. Markets is great. Okay, so we're slowly starting to build markets, and we're also going to head above the parapet. So if we build the markets here, we want to build the markets in Asia as well. And foraging animals, Bronwyn and the Department of Primary Industry, foraging animals, which is going to be great for my farmers as well, because then they can put their animals on afterwards and we can get hemp-fed lamb. So we are now in the process of still doing research. We're working with our farmers and we're working with emerging companies. So that's the cooperative, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.